Hi there viewers and welcome to 2012. I thought I would just give a little bit of an overview, an intuitive overview for what I feel the year ahead might be carrying with it, some of the vibrations and energies that I pick up from. I do a lot of reading and I listen to other people and what they have to say and get a general feel of astrological things that are happening, people's comments, listening to and reading little bits of the news and things like that. So along with the intuitive feeling and the different angelic realms and the messages I get from that side, I also take into consideration the earth events that are occurring or the vibration that's coming from them. So I did draw some cards, and I drew some from Carl Jung's Psi cards, and they're a very interpretive deck, and they're actually quite powerful cards. Now the first one I drew out was this one here called the Warrior. It's exactly as the card says. If you look at it, he is standing in ready for, I guess if you like, war. He is a warrior and he's dressed in his military garb and ready to fight. So he's a card of aggression. He's a card of standing up for your rights and defending your area, your land, your thoughts, who you are and what you are. So I think that's going to be quite a strong forerunner of this year. We're going to see quite a lot of activity personally within yourselves, within your countries, and within different countries around the globe, standing up for rights in particular and being prepared to fight for them if they believe that that's what it's all about. I think it's also going to be a year of strange accidents, both personal and larger, even to towns and cities. And when I say strange, it's the bizarre accidents that are going to occur, most unusual, and they could contain with them deaths for people. And you may even, some of you may come across people that you know who have been involved in these accidents or incidents. And I also think it's going to be a year of notable sea events to do with the water, bodies of water on the planet, and in particular our oceans and seas, and in particular boats and ships. Already in the year so far we've had 3 shipping incidents. The Rena, which has been stuck on a reef just outside the Bay of Plenty in New Zealand, has split in 2 and has cast more containers and oil into the sea. There has been a fire in the Ross Sea earlier this week, and there have been losses of lives in there, a fire on a boat there. There's been another ship that was damaged in it when it was trying to dock in rough seas, and that split and there's oil pouring into the water. So I think we're going to see more of that as the year goes on. There's going to be quite a few of those events. And we're also even going to see things to do with our lakes and our rivers as well. So bodies of water on the planet, I think, are going to be affected this year. It's a 2012 obviously adds up to 5, so that's the middle of a year in a 10-year cycle. So in essence, you could say we're going to be seeing a little bit of balance, which could perhaps lighten some of the events that are going to take place. And that brings to mind the second card that I pulled from the side deck, and this is the balance card, if you like. It's the scales, and that does indicate we're balancing things a little bit too. This is all about common sense. It's also about legal matters, and indicating that we are in the middle of a pattern, and that does fit that whole 2012 issue. This is a more balancing card. It gives a little bit more harmoniousness to perhaps events that could go really awry. So it does indicate there is still a little bit of balance involved in the year, which is a good sign. The third card that I used a second deck, the Doreen Virtue Daily Guidance card deck, and the third card that came out was the Assertiveness card. Now that matches the Warrior card. That's again just suggesting that there is going to be a defined amount of assertiveness for this whole year, just people standing up and saying, I won't take any more, I've had enough. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, or for the country. We're going to stand up and fight for it. I'm not necessarily saying I believe those values are right, but I think that's what is going to happen globally. What I do think, listening to some of the astrological, and their information of course comes from planetary lineups and things like that, which are quite strong this year, and we know about that's happening. There is an indication that there could be some very strong women's rights movements, and we've seen that again already at the beginning of this year through the Middle East. And I think the women over there are going to stand up and say, we've had enough. We want to be treated with more respect. We are the same as every other citizen on this planet, and we deserve to be treated as such. So I think that's also going to happen. Personally, on a personal level, I think it's going to be a year where you're going to need to take care of yourselves. It kind of matches that whole warrior energy. I think you're going to have to be careful about what you do physically. There could be a lot of, as I said earlier, physically odd accidents occurring, and so that comes right down to a personal level as well, not just perhaps group incidences that are odd, but on a personal level. So I think you need to take care of your own personal health and safety, and that would go for emotional, physiological, geographical, everything. That's the general message, I think, for this year. So anyhow, that's just a little overview. It probably is a bit of a big year. We've all been talking about it for a long time and waiting to see what would happen. So, well, let's just see how it plays out. Anyhow, that's it for this short little overview. Thanks for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye.